Beaker. I'm trying my best to look like Beaker the Muppet today. Converted man here. Did I do it? Does my hair look like Beaker's? I don't know. All right. Well, or Eraserhead. Yeah, that's another one. Yeah, look at that. Look at it go, man. It's just doing whatever, and I just don't care anymore. So let's stop focusing on my hair and start focusing on bad logic. Oh, yeah, bad logic. Oh, I love it. Yes. Bring it on. And what could be a better example of bad logic than apologetics? Yes, for whatever reason, apologetics seems just to offer us endless opportunities to consume bad logic and point out that it's bad logic, and then the apologist doesn't care. They don't respond to it. They don't fix their argument. They just keep on making the same argument because that's what sells, I guess. And some of these comments, oh my God, some of these comments. I love them. Here's one. Let me read this one real quick. After being in many debate forums, providing information theory, morality, precision arguments, eventually they all devolve into personal just cause precepts. I've learned there's no amount of proof that will change the heart. The heart requires infinite proof, something we cannot give. Only the Holy Spirit can provide that. That's nice, isn't it? And somebody responds, no, only Shiva can provide that. I can invent gods too. Walls. I agree with this, but coming from the other side of the debate, at some point, anyone who looks seriously will get to, and through all the same arguments, what convinces or fails to convince us just might be something else. Whether that something else comes from outside of ourselves or within ourselves, well, I guess it depends on which side of the debate one stands. Yes, I love these sort of comments. They just highlight the lack of critical thinking, reason, skepticism, logic being used by people that comment, I guess. I mean, yeah. All right, so spike your hair, get ready to stare. Here comes Wes Huff with his combed hair.
Yeah, I think part of the question, if I was asked this question, prove to me that God exists, what I would want to do with that particular person is I would want to ask what they're looking for in regards to proof. Because even academically in my own field, the word proof is this nebulous, problematic term.
Now, when he says his field is theology. So, what other field is he talking about? Looking up Wes Huff on the internet, he is a Canadian Christian apologist, Reformed Baptist theologian, public speaker, specializes in the history of ancient biblical manuscripts, currently pursuing a PhD in theological studies. So your field is theology. So proof is a problem in the field of theology. Wow. Proof is a problem in the field of theology. That's all he has said. Okay, yeah, I agree. It sure is a problem for you because you don't have proof. But notice he's like, this word, what's it mean? What do they mean by proof? I don't understand. It's not that difficult. Okay, it really isn't. And I wish apologists would stop treating it like it's like some mystery. Like, what do you mean by that word? I don't understand. No, come on. You know what we mean. You've got to know what we mean by now. Evidence, proof, these words are interchangeable for the most part, as far as I can tell. Okay, this isn't like some super complicated terminology that we're using. The basic human, broadly speaking, I think just means the same sort of evidence, the same sort of proof that we have for everything else. Okay? You know, I say, look, I've got a plastic lobster, and behold, a plastic lobster. Yeah. Wow. There you go. I said I had a thing, and then I proved that I had the thing by showing you the thing. Okay? Now, granted, sometimes the thing is really small, and I need like a microscope to see it. Or it's really far away, so I need like a telescope or something like that. Okay, fine, great, wonderful. Direct me to the machinery that I must utilize to perceive the thing. Okay, maybe it's more abstract than that. Like it's like particles and waves and stuff. And the only way to really see it is via mathematical formulas. And you're looking at this math going like, I don't understand that, but okay. What does all this mean? Like E, energy is mass. Okay, I got that one. That one I kind of think I understand. Okay, and then what's that letter mean? Okay, that means that. Okay, and what's this all referring to? They're like, oh yeah, this thing that's a big giant circle that's underground. We send like little particles colliding into each other, and then they do this stuff, and you're like, okay, let me see that. And you can look at that and look at the screen. It's like, oh, and it's like, what does all that mean? You know, like that means that, and you're like, oh, okay. Cool. I don't know what you meant. I'm not okay. And you just kind of have to go, okay, I'll take your word for it because I don't understand what the hell you're saying. I don't know what you're talking about, but okay, sure. That whatever. Because it's complicated. Sometimes it's really complicated, right? But if you work hard enough to read books and understand them and get it through your head, like, okay, now I understand this stuff, even if you're not good at it, at least you can then look at it and go, oh, okay, so when you smash those things together and you produce all these bits of particles, you're reading all this information that then you translate into this mathematics, and that's what we're looking at. It's like, yeah, okay, yeah, now I understand it. Cool. So do we have anything like that for God? Yes or no? Either we do or we don't. It's not, well, what kind of proof do you mean? Is it like mathematical proof? That's the only proof there really is, don't you know? Yeah, okay. Sure, math is pretty good. Do you got math proof? No? Okay, so what do you have then? Do you have anything? Do you have any reason for us to believe what your claim is true? And why are you dancing around evidence and proof like this? You know, the apologists sometimes will go to the courtroom in their mind, and they'll say, in a courtroom, you're provided with blah, blah, blah. So just imagine like, well, yes, Your Honor, obviously they killed them. There's plenty of proof. What proof is that? What kind of proof do you want? I mean, come on. I mean, what's the word proof mean anyways? Just, yeah. All right.
Because proof and evidence are not synonymous, and they're not always the same thing. And so...
Hey, I just said that they were the same thing. How dare you contradict me? They're basically used in the same way by, I would dare say, most people. Now, maybe I need a survey of that. Oh, I'm already doing a survey trying to figure things out. Why did I include it? Anyways, but yeah, I don't know. I think that you're making it. It doesn't matter, okay? Evidence, proof, whatever. What do you got? Do you got anything?
In some regards, proof will be based on what any one individual is looking for. And what might be considered proof for you to draw a particular conclusion might not be proof for another person.
Okay, so I've analyzed this background of theirs, and I think, and I don't have proof, I think that they're sitting on chairs that are, do they have a back to this chair? Yes, it does. Okay. And I don't think that they're sitting at a church. I think that this is a green screen because their sound is really good and the volume in churches is bad. And there's no lights or anything going on. It's very static of a background. So I think that they have a green screen. I don't have proof 100% that they have a green screen, but I'm pretty sure that they're using a green screen. Now, that doesn't matter. That's fine. They can do that. But why are they doing that? I don't know. Maybe to look like they're at a church, but why not just go to an actual church then? Why be dishonest like this to your audience? Oh, none of that.
Proof mathematically is very sound, right? 1 + 1 = 2, and that's going to be true with a capital T no matter what the situation is. But as a historian, truth is a probability issue. It's an inference to the best explanation.
And you're not really a historian, you're a theologian. Maybe you look at history, but that doesn't make you a historian. That's not any of your degree at all. So why are you saying as a historian as if you are one? You're not. You can't just claim that you're a historian without backing to show that you are. I guess you can if you're an apologist. You can claim anything because people don't care about truth, I suppose. Except for me. I really care about truth. So, yeah.
And so we're looking for things on a higher probability of whether they actually happened or a lower probability based on a number of intervening factors. And so if we're
all right, so we're all in this mess of higher probability and lower probability, and so this is how he dances around not having any proof at all. He pretends it's all about probability. All right, cool. So what's the probability that your religion is true versus some other religion is true? And you might say, well, it's 100. Well, I have 100% probability my religion is true, or is it 99% probability, or is it 87? And by the way, and this is really important here, Wes. How do you figure out those probabilities exactly? What method are you using to get to those probabilities? Could you mentioned mathematics, so I'm sure that you have some sort of mathematical formula that you could tell us. And maybe it's boring, maybe it's complicated, but could you produce that? That would be nice, Wes. I would like to see you produce the formula that you use, not just for your own religion, but for all religions. And not just religion, but also history, since you brought up history itself. Now, I am pretty sure, and I could be wrong, that a historian who isn't necessarily committed to any one religion, or if they are, they set that to the side, examines a writing from the past. When that writing contains certain elements, they label it as mythology. They don't label it as history, because it contains certain elements that require that they label it that way. Whether they personally believe that it is true or not true is set to the side, because they're categorizing this writing into the proper place, regardless if they personally believe it really happened for real. They still have to categorize it correctly, or they're failing in their job. So either you're doing your job right or you're not. So they want to do their job right. So when it comes to the Torah and the New Testament, there are many things said in those writings that would require the historian to label it as mythology. Okay, so then you say, well, what's the probability that this mythology is more true than this other mythology? And okay, how are you going to assign probabilities? What's your method? You don't seem to offer that. So I have to think that Wes doesn't have any method of assigning these probabilities that he's talking about. He just wants people to think that this is so sophisticated and so complicated, but it's really not. There is a 100% probability that that share is really there for real. Yep, that's not a green screen. Unlike what he can do, I can actually go, hey, look. Oh, I'm touching the share. Oh my God, Wes, you can't do that to the pews behind you because you got a green screen. Unless you don't, I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that I'm right. So, Wes, you're talking about all these probabilities, and you still haven't offered any proof or evidence of God. So doesn't that then indicate to me that you don't have proof or evidence of God? All right, fine. You want probability. Okay, cool. What's the probability and how did you get to that conclusion? Are we going to learn about that?
We're looking for an answer to prove God exists. I think the question kind of sets up the terms to maybe leave that person wanting to begin with. So what I want to do is actually find out what that person means by proof and try to provide something that would potentially speak into what they're looking for in particular.
Okay, and again, this isn't that difficult, Wes. It's the same sort of proof, the same sort of evidence that I have for everything else, okay? It's really that simple. You say I have a blue cup. There you go, blue cup. Okay. Now, if you say molecule, hey, you're going to need some sort of, microscope for that. All right. You say some distant planet or star, you're going to need a telescope for that. But you're going to need something to demonstrate it in the same way that we demonstrate other things to really be in the first place. The thing exists because of this evidence that we have for it, this proof that we have for it. Well, but what do you mean by that? It's not a very fair question. I don't know what you mean, and I'm going to try to answer it for you, but it's really hard to answer it because I need to know where you're coming from. It's like, it really isn't that hard. And I think that if you just listen to what those pesky atheists are asking for over and over again, we would like some evidence, please. We would like some proof, please. Well, what do you mean by that? We've told you over and over again. It's been told by atheists across the board. What we want is the same sort of evidence that we have for everything else. And you guys and girls say you don't have that, but that's okay because blah, 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 blah. But here, Wes isn't even admitting that they don't actually have proof. He's playing around with other nonsense. All right.
Maybe the question is existential. Maybe they're looking for a God who they can feel knows them intimately and loves them. And maybe the question that they're looking for is scientific, and they're looking for a design answer. How do we look at the world around us and look into the details of the cell or biology, chemistry, and find evidence of something beyond matter and motion that gives an.
Yeah, how exactly do we do that, Wes? How do you look at the cell and find evidence beyond matter and motion, which is a creationist, intelligent design talking point and not a scientific one? Because when you look at the cell, you're looking at the result of millions of years of biological evolution at work. So you're looking at the end not even the end product, but the current product of millions of years of evolution, which we know is a thing for sure, Wes. We know that. Proven. Absolute evidence of that. We don't see at any point in time a need to invoke anything other than the natural world that we have operating to explain any of it, unless, of course, you want to plug your ears, close your eyes, and pretend that it's designed because you don't want to understand biology. You don't want to understand evolution. You don't want to understand that cells are evolved just like, well, all the things are that are alive or even close to being alive. You don't understand that. You think that that's designed, therefore God. So you don't really have a method other than pseudoscience and more bad arguments.
An answer. Or maybe it's philosophical. Maybe they're trying to answer philosophical questions that are being posed to them or that they are encountering about, a good God in a world that is complicated and all of these things. So there isn't necessarily one silver bullet in terms of a proof for God.
Well, there appears to be no bullets at all. And in fact, you don't even have a weapon to hold those bullets in the first place, because the evidence and or proof of God is nothing. Otherwise, you would have offered it by now. You would have said, well, when people ask for proof of God and I say, here you go, here's proof of God, there you go, here's the proof of God. Instead of like, oh, well, what do you mean by proof it? Okay, well, here, there it is, there's God, there you go, done. All right, cool. And that's it. And it's like, then you can complain about that they don't accept it or whatever, or don't understand it, or it's like they don't see that this is God, but it is. This is really God for real. Hey, look, this little stuffed lobster here, he's God. And he lives on my head most of the time, not all the time, but and that's it. That's what God is. This is God. Okay, prove wrong. Well, okay, yeah. Anything else, Wes?
Because if you have 100 people in a room, you have 100 different avenues that they might be looking for that could very well give them what they're searching in terms of who they think God could be.
Yeah, that's an interesting problem, isn't it? What is God in the first place, Wes? But even more important, how do we know that that thing is God? What method could we possibly hope to use to figure out what God is, Wes? And Wes doesn't offer us anything of substance to explore or understand. Wes is doing what apologists always do: make it into a unsolvable problem, and then say, oh, the solution is my worldview of X, Y, and Z, and that proves everything, even though they don't actually offer any solution at all.
And the answers to those questions are going to show them who God is, but it's different avenues to the same destination.
So good and so insightful. I'm picturing myself and my husband right now, because all I need is to feel God's presence, but he needs to know that the biblical texts are accurate and provable.
So you just feel like God is real, and that's enough for you because you don't have any critical thinking at all. Whereas your husband wants to have some amount of critical thinking, so he wants to know that the text is true. Well, you can save your husband some time and energy. The text isn't true. And as for your feelings, they also are not true. You believe in a thing that you think is God, that you've labeled God, and you have a feeling that it's God, but it's just a feeling, and it's not actually God. It's actually just you. All right, and so I think I'm done with this. Yeah, it's only 3 minutes in, but I do have a second video that I kind of wanted to complain about. And let's just see if there's anything more here.
So very interesting. Okay, here's the next question from our young millennials. I mean, I guess they're not as young anymore, and our young Gen Z, so our millennials and Gen Z. How could a good God allow evil and suffering in the world? And
okay, this question. Yeah, God is evil. That's how. That explains it. God's a jerk. God is stupid. That's my pet theory is God is just dumb. Anyways, all right, so that's enough of this because I covered the part I wanted to cover, which is the proof that God exists, which is basically done. He didn't offer any. So let's go to Yellow Shirt Dude. Now, this guy, is that tree real? I don't know. Kind of does look real, but then the background behind him doesn't. I feel like it's green screened. I could be wrong. Anyways.
Before we even respond to Neil deGrasse Tyson's arguments, we must clarify something essential.
Also, he feels like he's AI generated. Like, is he a real person? Like, no, I think that he's AI generated. No, I'm pretty sure he's an AI generation. Oh my God. This is good. This is too good. Well, they got the same similar model every time. Sometimes he's bald. Sometimes he has hair on his head. And he's wearing the same suit, same background. Oh, yeah. It's not just that that he has a green screen. He doesn't even exist. Oh. Well, no wonder it sounds so stupid. It's AI. I don't respond to AI slop. Wait, yeah. I don't want to respond to AI slop. Is that all that this channel is? Oh, God. It is. It's nothing but AI slop. Started a month ago. Just AI slop. What? Why? Why would you do this? I don't know. Well, I mean, I said I was going to look at it. So I guess I have to look at it.
That removes all confusion about why Christians do not speak of the same gods he lists when he mentions Zeus, Odin, or ancient deities. When Jesus said, "Whoever has seen me has seen the Father," he was not adding himself to the thousands of gods humanity invented.
How do you know that?
He was revealing the Creator himself, not as an abstract idea, but as a visible, historical, concrete manifestation of the source of all existence.
Prove it.
The other gods were projections of human imagination.
No, your God is as well.
Jesus revealed the one who created the universe. And once we understand that, everything else shifts, especially Tyson's main question about suffering. Tyson says, if God is all-powerful and all-good, why is there so much pain, disaster?
Where's the clip of Tyson saying anything? Do you actually have the clip of him in here? Oh, you don't. Oh. Okay. AI slop. All right. Well, so this is what we're going to do, because I was ready to complain about this guy having nothing to offer. We're going to pretend that I didn't do any of that. We're going to go ahead and just pretend that I never mentioned that part. So I'm going to leave it in the description. Going to leave it in the title here. But you and I were just going to agree that I didn't waste my time on AI. It's getting too good. Anyway, so do we have evidence of God? Apparently not. Do we have proof of God? Apparently not. Well, we have probability, and what do you mean? It's like, look, I mean the same thing that you mean. Evidence, like real proof. Like, what do you got? What do you have to offer us? Look at the cell. That looks designed. No, it doesn't look designed. Not at all. You can't, if you understand anything about biology, anything about evolution, you go, yeah, no, that's not design there, buddy. I'm sorry that you see design there, but it's not. It's too complicated. And then they said, yes, it's so complicated. Yeah, which is not a hallmark of design. Design is simplicity. Look at your computer. The less stuff that goes in it, the better, because that's less things to fail. You don't want to overcomplicate your computer, because then you have more things that can fail. Okay? I'll give an example, okay? The game Minecraft, the sandbox game of block, and people have made computers inside of Minecraft, and then, yes, they've made Minecraft inside of Minecraft. But can you make Minecraft inside of Minecraft inside of Minecraft? You could, but it starts getting slow, because already when they're showing these things, the game inside the game is already super slow, and usually it's sped up footage. And then if you go down another level, it's going to get even, worse as you go on. So there's a limit on that, I'm not really sure what that had to do with anything that I was trying to explain. Oh, well. Let's just pretend that didn't happen either. Yeah, that's how we'll do it. All right, well, that's it then. No evidence of God, no proof. What was the Minecraft rant about? I had a point, and then just disappeared. I was going somewhere with it. Where was it going? Let me know what you think I was trying to figure out in the thing. In the comment of. I'll be back if I ever figure out what I was trying to get to with that. Yeah. We'll see you in part 2 when I talk about Minecraft and Minecraft inside of Minecraft and how that disproves God. Because that's where I told the analogy I had, it did matter. I swear. It's just, you know what? I outsmarted myself. Let's go with that.